Imagine this. You're in a crowded room, buzzing with people chasing success. Some are honest, hardworking, and steadfast in their values, while others lie, manipulate, and trample over anyone in their path. Yet, it's often the most ruthless who rise to the top. Why does the world seem to reward those without morals? From history to politics to business, the powerful often appear to be those willing to abandon their principles. Ruthless emperors, cutthroat CEOs, the pattern is undeniable. But is this mere coincidence, or does it reflect something deeper about human nature, rooted in our evolutionary psychology and social systems? In a world of limited resources, competition is inevitable. Those who hesitate, striving for fairness at every turn, are often left behind, while those who exploit, deceive, and dominate surge ahead. This harsh reality forces us to confront an uncomfortable question. Is morality a liability in the pursuit of power? Here's the paradox. While the worst people may succeed in the short term, history is also filled with examples of their eventual downfall. The real question isn't just why they rise, but whether their success endures. And more importantly, what does this mean for those of us who choose to uphold our principles? Power is a fundamental force in life, neither inherently good nor evil, but a constant truth of existence. To understand why the worst often succeed, we must first understand the nature of power. And for that, we turn to one of Nietzsche's most provocative ideas: master morality versus slave morality. Picture two warriors on a battlefield. One is bold, strong, and unafraid, taking what he wants and shaping the world to his will. The other is hesitant, seeking fairness and external validation, hoping virtue will bring reward. Which of them is more likely to survive? Who will ultimately rule? Nietzsche argued that morality itself is a product of power struggles. He identified two key systems: master morality and slave morality. These concepts explain why ruthless individuals often rise, while those who prioritize kindness and fairness struggle. Master morality is the ethos of the strong, the rulers, the conquerors. It's driven by values like strength, courage, and ambition. To the masters, what is good enhances their ability to assert dominance and create. They don't seek approval, they define their own worth. They take control of their destiny, viewing weakness not as something to protect, but something to overcome. Slave morality, in contrast, is the ethos of the oppressed, the powerless, those who cannot impose their will. It values humility, obedience, and self-sacrifice. It glorifies suffering and condemns power as inherently evil. Nietzsche saw this as a moral system devised by those who lacked the ability to dominate, a psychological adaptation for survival in a world ruled by the strong. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Slave morality doesn't prevent the rise of the ruthless. It enables it. By vilifying ambition and shaming the pursuit of power, it leaves control in the hands of those who have no regard for morality. While the virtuous hesitate, those with a master morality take charge. And in a world where hesitation means defeat, the outcome is inevitable. So, what do we do? Should we abandon morality and embrace ruthlessness? Or is there a way to reconcile strength with virtue? To answer this, we must look deeper into the psychology of those who rise to power, the ones who refuse to be victims of circumstance. Imagine a wild, untamed wilderness. In this world, survival isn't about kindness or fairness. It's about strength, adaptability, and the will to do whatever it takes. The lion doesn't ask permission to hunt. The storm doesn't apologize for its destruction. Nature rewards not morality, but endurance and dominance. Human society, at its core, is no different. Beneath laws and social contracts, the primal struggle for survival continues. And those who rise to power often share a key trait: ruthlessness. Not necessarily cruelty, but the ability to act decisively, free from hesitation or guilt. This isn't accidental. It's an evolutionary adaptation. Psychologists have studied the traits that predict success in competitive environments, and the pattern is consistent. High ambition, low sensitivity to fear, and perhaps most controversially, a reduced sense of empathy for those standing in the way. This doesn't mean all powerful people are psychopaths, but many possess the ability to act without the emotional constraints that hold others back. From Julius Caesar to modern business moguls, the lesson is clear. Hesitation is a liability, and power is seized, not given. The strong don't wait for permission to lead. They take risks and deal with consequences later. This is why the ruthless often ascend, while the kind-hearted remain in the shadows. But here's another paradox. Ruthlessness alone isn't enough. Many who gain power through manipulation eventually fall. The same traits that help someone rise can also lead to their undoing. A leader who rules solely by fear will eventually be overthrown by the very forces they sought to control. History is littered with tyrants who believed they were invincible until they weren't. So, does this mean morality and fairness are destined to fail in the face of power? Not necessarily. But to understand why, we must challenge the comforting illusion that the world is fair. From childhood, we're told a story that good people are rewarded and justice prevails. Fairy tales, religion, and moral teachings reinforce this belief. But when we step into reality, we find a brutal contradiction. The hardest workers aren't always the richest, the most honest don't always lead, and the kindest often endure the most pain. This isn't a flaw in the system, it is the system. Fairness is, in many ways, a social construct designed to maintain order, not reflect reality. It's a comforting illusion, but an illusion nonetheless. Power and success aren't handed out based on merit. They are taken by those who understand the game. Psychological research has revealed a phenomenon called the just world fallacy, the tendency to believe life is inherently fair. This belief is dangerous because it encourages passivity. If we assume that goodness alone will lead to success, we ignore the realities of competition and power. While we wait for justice, those without such illusions have already moved ahead. Does this mean we must abandon morality altogether? Not quite. The key is to understand the game without being enslaved by it. Those who suffer the most are often the ones who believe playing nice is enough. But those who balance integrity with strategy, who combine kindness with strength, are the ones who rewrite the rules. Fairness isn't something we can expect, it's something we must create, and that requires power. Nietzsche saw this struggle as fundamental to human existence. His answer wasn't to surrender to the ruthlessness of the world, nor to blindly follow moral conventions. Instead, he pointed to something higher, the Ubermensch, the individual who transcends weakness and cruelty, forging their own path. Picture standing at the edge of an abyss. Behind you lies the world as it is, full of injustice, limitations, and social expectations. Before you, the unknown. Most hesitate, but a few leap. These are the Ubermensch, the individuals who rise above the masses, who define their own values, and who create rather than merely take. Nietzsche's Ubermensch isn't about brute strength or domination. It's about self-overcoming. It's about refusing to be a victim of circumstances, rejecting imposed morality, and shaping your destiny. The Ubermensch doesn't rely on cruelty or manipulation because their strength comes from within, not from external approval or fear-based control. This is why the ruthless may rise, but they'll never truly transcend. They play a temporary game of taking, but the Ubermensch plays the infinite game of building something greater than themselves. They are creators, not exploiters. So how do we navigate a world that rewards ruthlessness without becoming ruthless ourselves? We must understand power as a tool, not a weapon. To succeed in a high-stakes world where rules favor those who play to win, we need to embrace strategic thinking without losing our integrity. Nietzsche's philosophy isn't about domination. It's about transcending weakness while maintaining authenticity. Here's the truth. Life isn't fair, and the strongest competitors accept this. They don't complain about injustice. They learn the rules of the game and use them to their advantage. But that doesn't mean abandoning ethics. It means realizing that power is neutral, and those who understand it wield it best. True power is about self-overcoming, not exploiting others. The ruthless often rise fast, but they also fall hard because their power is built on manipulation, not creation. The Ubermensch, on the other hand, builds lasting value, becoming indispensable because their power is earned, not taken. So, can you succeed in a world that rewards ruthlessness? Yes, but only if you stop playing by old rules. Stop expecting fairness and start mastering power on your own terms. But what is power really? Is it inherently evil or simply misunderstood? Nietzsche's view of power wasn't about crushing others. It was about surpassing yourself, overcoming limitations, and creating new values. Power, in its purest form, is about self-mastery, not domination. Throughout history, power has been linked to corruption, but Nietzsche challenged us to see it differently. Power isn't evil. It's a force for creation when wielded with integrity. The key is not in avoiding power, but in mastering it for the purpose of growth and transformation. Power is neither good nor evil. It's a tool, and when used wisely, it can lead to greatness. So, how will you choose to wield it? If this exploration of power and success resonates with you, make sure to subscribe to the Lumini channel. Hit the like button, share this video, and join us on the journey toward understanding, growth, and the pursuit of a more powerful life.